Hi there, I'm back with a new video. For some days now, most of the news outlets have announced that Disney has cancelled 3 MCU movies, Ant-Man 4, Captain Marvel 3, and The Eternals, by Bob Iger himself because he believed that these movies would flop hard at the box office. And honestly, in my opinion, that was the right move to do. According to Daniel Richman, the anticipated Eternals, Ant-Man and Captain Marvel sequels are no longer coming to the big screens. Marvel Studios boss Kevin Feige reportedly wanted to produce the Eternals sequel, but Iger allegedly does not, believing it's a guaranteed box office flop. So projects like Ant-Man 4 and Captain Marvel 3 are not happening, as Disney wants to avoid risks and focus on likely hits. But is this the truth? That they're canceling projects to do some course correction so we can see better movies like we did in the first phases of the MCU? Or they're doing a retooling, keeping everything intact like the article from Hollywood Reporter said like almost a month ago, which I had covered as well. And this retooling is also supported by the well-known scooper My Time to Shine Hello, and was covered on Comic Book Movie 2, saying that The Eternals 2 is not cancelled, it's transformed into another project. While the article continues, we assume this means the heroes will either be joined by a much bigger character as lead, Thor or the Guardians of the Galaxy for example, or they'll become supporting characters in another movie. Either option would work, particularly if it means we get a resolution to their story. Now, is there any big characters left to drag the storyline when Thor: Love and Thunder was poorly received by the fans even if it didn't lose money for Marvel? And then we have Guardians of the Galaxy without James Gunn, since he's now the co-CEO of the new DC universe. And that means that Chris Pratt and his team won't be back for the new sequel, and we'll probably have a new team, so there's no big name from there that can drag this storyline. The problem here is not how they can put these failed projects back into the MCU. The problem is that Bob Iger hasn't cancelled even more of these problematic projects. All of these 3 movies were the easiest to be cancelled since they weren't in production yet, so giving this announcement didn't cost them anything. But here we have Kevin Feige, which is the major problem for the Marvel Universe, because he was the one that greenlit all of these movies. Well, don't forget about those Disney Plus series that are still coming, like Agatha All Along, Ironheart, and Wonder Man. All of these failed projects that have happened after Endgame could have been easily avoided if there was some oversight to what Kevin Feige was greenlighting, like it was in the first phases with Perlmutter. When you have movies like Captain America, Brave New World, and the Thunderbolts still happening, you can't consider this a course correction. Bob Iger has to scrap everything that has been produced under Kevin Feige's watchful eye, a complete purge except Deadpool, and start building from that movie from ground up. While base Marvel on more well-known properties and fast-tracking them like the Fantastic Four and the X-Men, at the same time get new talent to pen these projects that want to serve the story and not their personal agendas, because people want to be entertained and not lectured, which means they gotta get rid of the whole team behind these failed projects, counting in Kevin Feige as well. Because after Endgame, when he was left as the only head of the MCU, proved us that he wasn't the mastermind behind Marvel's success. As for the canceled movies, he can make those projects tax write-offs like Zaslav did with Batgirl, because it's better off not releasing these movies and series that will do further damage to the brand. Just consider the damage that was done from Echo and the Marvels. Everybody is taking cheap shots at the studio right now. They have to understand that they have to work for quality over quantity. This is the way they can regain the fans that have turned their backs to Marvel. If Bob Iger doesn't go on a full purge of the current MCU, While keeping Kevin Feige as head of the studio, there is no possibility they can get out of this downward spiral. While Deadpool and Wolverine will be just an anomaly in this whole situation. What do you think? Is Bob Iger willing and able to do this course correction that the MCU needs? Write it down in the comment section below. And don't forget to leave a like on the video and subscribe to the channel. Thank you and have a good one.